Right, hey everyone, I'm here to give a quick rundown on the new Runes, Masteries and item builds for Katarina in Pre-Season 6. If you don't know me, I'm Master Tier Katarina player. I'm currently the only Master Tier Katarina player in EU West, the only one who finished in Masters anyway. Also, I don't only play Katarina, but I play lots of Katarina, so I'd like to think I'm at least qualified to kind of start to look at good changes this season. Right, what most people want to see, Masteries. This is my opinion of the best Masteries currently for Cat. You want to go 18 into Cunning because you want the Thunderlord's Decree. That is the most important thing here because Katarina is all about getting that first reset, and this Mastery is perfect for that. And then lots of these choices are obvious. Obviously, cooldown reduction not that important on Cat, so you want the flat penetration. You don't need that. She has no mana. You don't take any buffs. This is an important one. Some people might disagree with this one, but Katarina's laning phase is now currently so bad that you just need this extra last hitting power. It'll only be applied in your auto attacks, and your E, who uses that CSing. But it's still better than Wanderer when you should be using movement speed quints anyway for roaming around lanes and rushing boots. You really don't need this mastery. This one's just going to let you survive laning a bit better. And this is fairly obvious choices as well. Bounty Hunter, Oppressor, you don't have any CC, why would you use Oppressor? Natural Talent, this is even better for Katarina as she has dual scaling. That extra attack damage works with your ult. And Double-Edged Sword, it's worth it on almost every melee assassin. Feast is good, but the cooldown's too long. I'd rather that 3% increased damage is pretty huge. There's little reason to not take this. Right, on to runes. This hasn't really changed much from the last season. This is my normal one, is if I can get away with it, Katarina scaling build. Movement speed quints, scaling health, scaling magic resist, and magic pen. You can't take this versus something like LeBlanc. Even Ari or Oriana can sometimes be a bit annoying, and for that case you want Katarina versus heavy AP. It's just the only difference is flat magic resists. And this can be, I sometimes take ability power because I normally take this rune page versus LeBlanc, because you can actually beat LeBlanc in lane if you dodge her W correctly. And this just extra little bit of ability power lets you actually kill her in lane. But that's not usual. My most used page is the scaling build, which basically you're just looking to survive laning phase. It's really unlikely you're going to get a kill early game for like level 11 most of the time. You're not going to solo kill anyone. So these scaling runes work out a lot better. And this one's pretty self-explanatory. Katarina versus AD. You don't need the magic resist, so I take scaling ability power. And I probably change this up. Get movement speed here. So we use this one. And this will generally be versus Z or something. The reason you don't have armor in here, despite saying versus AD, is because you would start cloth. So you don't need this armor. You'd start cloth and some potions rather than anything else. And talking of item builds, on to the item sets. These are the normal 3 starts for this season now. This one would be the most common one you use, a refillable potion and some boots. Unfortunately, you can't really upgrade this. If you look what this upgrades into, these both give mana and aren't overly efficient on Katarina. You just want to skip them. Lots of the time you'll be going into Gunblade anyway, so you won't really need this extra sustain after you. The thing about Gunblade is, I'll talk about that more in a minute, but although the spell vamp isn't that useful in a team fight, for example, it still gives a huge amount of sustain in lane. This is pretty self-explanatory. Start cloth. Unless it's versus Z, you don't need to actually continue down this third item path with Hourglass first. Z is the only champion I would buy Hourglass first versus. Possibly if they had like a Vi and a Talon as well. It's all situational. If they have extra things that Hourglass is especially good versus, and an AD mid, you can rush Hourglass first. And then this start, if you have the start Doran Shield, it's already gone badly for you in champion select. You're probably versus a Kassadin or a Vlad. They're going to just point and click, and you're going to be really sad. This is at least better than anything else. It'll help you survive through laning a bit. I just find it useful having an item set, having all these little extra parts. Easy saves you time in the shop. And these are your two choices, Abyssal Scepter or Gunblade. Abyssal Scepter is especially good now because for some reason Riot buffed it. They nerfed every other AP item apart from Gunblade, but they buffed Abyssal Scepter, lowering its cost, which was really confusing. But as of right now, versus most AP lanes, you can just get away with rushing Abyssal Scepter. It's incredibly efficient, and it turns you into a mid-game hard carry, especially when combined with Sork Shoes as your next item, as you just get them down to 0 magic resist and destroy them. And then you normally go into when you do this build, you're looking to win in the mid game, trying to make them forfeit at 20 almost. So Luden's Echo is a nice follow-up for the extra burst power early game. Then, as all of these builds, Death Cap and Void Staff are interchangeable. That just means if they've been stacking magic resist, if they have an Aegis on the other team, you want to start building Void Staff. Generally, the rule is on Katarina if they have over 70 magic resist. You definitely want the Void Staff. So if they bought an Abyssals or just any magic resist item, get the Void Staff. Even if it's like a Chalice, if they didn't start any magic resist in runes, you can be fine going into Death Cup after they buy Chalice. But if they've got magic resist in runes and buy Chalice, that's when you go into Void Staff. And then this is my favourite item, Gunblade. This item has been buffed by not being nerfed, if that makes sense. Like, it's only 200 gold more than Luden's now, after Luden's has been nerfed so much. And this item is actually the strongest single item on Katarina. It gives you more damage than even Death Cap, because the attack power, attack damage is worth way more on Katarina's scalings than ability power. So one attack damage is worth way more than one ability power in Cat scalings, but attack damage is obviously much harder to get a lot of, so that's why Cat's called AP, not AD. But any AD you can still pick up is great. And now you'll be saying Katarina has only AoE stuff, so she doesn't get much use out of Spellvamp. And that is almost entirely true. Gunblade is an amazing item with a great active for getting that first reset, even if you just ignore the fact that you get any healing from it. You can pretty much pretend you don't get any healing, or the healing passive could be completely removed, and Gunblade would still be an amazing first item on Cat. That's all that really needs to be said about this one. And just to finish up here, you've got don't buy these items, please no. You're an assassin, not a tank killer. They're bullshit, just never buy them. Lich Bane, if for some reason, I don't know, you're playing top Cat and want to split push, it gives even less ability power than before. Actually, I think it still gives the same ability power, but Sheen's an even worse purchase than before. There's very little reason to build this. It's a possible decent last item, but nah. Soul Stealer, I don't know, I'm unsure about this item. Obviously, because it now gives mana, and you don't want mana on Cat. It used to be a really good purchase, but I'm not sure how it works out now. And these are solid SIP item purchases if you're just going to really late game. I like Guardian Angel the most. It gives you time to get extra resets while dead, which obviously helps. But these build paths will normally be if you're at least ahead. If you're just like slugging along, I don't know, a 10-10 score or something, and you're finally looking for your SIP item at 45 minutes or something, you generally want the Guardian Angel. These are if you're buying a SIP damage item is pretty ballsy. It can cause problems if you're not ahead already. Right, anyway, thanks for watching. I'm happy to answer any questions in the comments, and I will include screenshots of the Masteries in the description.